All right, hey guys, we're back with episode 5 of the Props and Playmakers podcast, where cousins collide, codes get cracked, and culture gets called out. Just want to give you guys a high five for rocking with us. We had a bit of a break last week, just had some personal stuff to deal with, but we back like we never left.
Thanks heaps for sitting with us, guys. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support.
So what's been happening, man? I missed you last week.
Yeah, same. It's been a while between drinks.
Yeah, we're the footy, man. The footy's heating right up.
Oh, isn't it? It's starting to get fucking hot.
Yep, it's you can smell it's the September weather's here and spring is in the air.
Yeah, finals footy is upon us.
So yeah, no, well the Bronx, like we're still not sure they're going to be top 4. They're still battling it out. One more game to go.
Yeah, last one tonight. Should hopefully a couple games this weekend, and we should secure our position for number 4. Which, as history shows, you can't win it from outside of the 4.
Definitely.
Broncos, they're having an all right end of the season, aren't they?
Yeah, man. I think there's been some massive games so far. Like Walshy, he's still got those rocks and diamonds moments in him, but I think he's overall what he's done in the absence of Adam Reynolds and Ezra Mam, it puts a lot of pressure on him to step up, and he has had some really nice moments.
Yeah, it seems like he has stepped up into that role, and I think it's like one of the plays I noticed last week that sort of shows that he's really able to coach himself and learn from his mistakes is where he threw the intercept ball, and then the next play after that was able to read the same thing, throw the dummy instead, draw the man, and then throw the ball and make the break with it. So that's really good to see that he's starting to capitalise on those errors that he would have been making before. So
he's definitely got that goldfish mentality.
Yeah.
He makes an error and then he's just like, he forgets he's even made it,
so. Forgets about it. Which is good, because you don't want the guy to be sitting there stressing on his errors and scared to play his game. Like, you want him to throw those balls because that's where he really shines.
Definitely. And I mean, he might have a career as a plumber. You know what's doing? The toilet water.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Don't know how it goes for Aiden in recovery, but hey, if it's working for him, whatever he wants to do, hey.
Whatever works for you, yeah.
If it gets us a premiership, then
I mean, he might bring
I'm all on board for it.
There could be some sponsorship deals there, like Reece Plumbing. Like,
Reece will definitely be on board on that one.
And it goes with his namesake, so yeah. It's quite an interesting one, and I noticed that the Broncos hierarchy is actually talking about Reece maybe getting someone to sort of manage that social media presence there. But I noticed he's been leaning right into it. I haven't been following it fully, but I've seen that he's like putting up like photos of him in Bunnings at the plumbing section, and like put up a photo of him as a plumber. So
was he an apprentice plumber before coming into the league, or is it just?
Oh, I think it's just a bit of a
just
joke
a bit of a gag they're going
with the old toilet water, obviously. But what I wanted to know is, did the plumber christen it before he drank it?
It's apparently it's a thing. So plumbers will drink from a freshly installed unused toilet. That's a common thing here in Australia, apparently. Look, I don't know too many plumbers. Chris, you'll have to let us know about that one. So if you're watching, mate, put it in the comments below if you ever drank out of a toilet. And was it used?
Yeah, well, I mean, surely one of his teammates wants to stitch him up. Like, I could see someone like Paddy Carrigan going in there and christening it. I
think it's a hell of a lot worse than the old poo in a shoe antics, isn't it? What is it with rugby league players and shit jokes?
Yeah, they got some toilet humour. Like, we'll give them that. Also on the side of off-field incidents, like we've obviously had Shibasaki. He's been dropped for disciplinary reasons this week.
Another one in the toilet water.
Yeah. And bit of a boozy night out on the Sunday night, and then rocked up to training on the Monday, a bit under the weather. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on it as a Bronx fan?
Look, it's tough because Madge is obviously trying to install that discipline into him, and the attitude of like you're a professional squad, you can't be going out the night before training, or regardless if you've just come off the back of a good win, you can't be going out and getting drunk and then showing up for, which is your job, work the next day, throwing up into a fucking can somewhere. So I understand Madge's reasoning behind it. It's a bit of a tough pill to swallow, being that Shibasaki has had such a good season so far. But also Arthas, he played some great footy in the past couple seasons. Whenever he gets into the side, he plays up to the occasion. So I'm sure they'll manage. Hopefully it hasn't cost Shibasaki a spot later on in the finals. But
I think
it is what it is.
He's had such a dream season. It's just a shame for him that he was on a train and trial deal at the start of the year. Like, let's put that into perspective. This guy was, he'd been at the Bronx previously, but I mean, most people didn't even know who he was. And he's made a State of Origin debut, been strong in defense, like particularly, but scoring tries. He's just a big body, and that's what breaks, that's what I really like about him. But I think he'll cop it on the chin, like Madge said. He was flogging him out there. Like, I can imagine. Madge,
he would have been if he smelt blood in the water. He would have been circling.
Yeah. So, but I think moving forward, I would like to see him get his position back. I mean, I would have even liked to have just seen him. Maybe they could have, just sort of disciplined him in another way, like fining.
Could have just belted him for the week of training, and
and he would have been wanting to go out there and make up for it. Yeah. So, but I do think the next game that he plays, like, I think get on him, because I can see him really coming out and proving a point.
Yeah. So I think you're on the right track with that one. Yeah, definitely.
Well, my boys,
2 in a row.
2 in a row, man. Going for 3 this week, like knocking off some big scalps in the process.
Yeah, and it was a good one for Fox's 200th.
Definitely, yeah. He
brilliant breakaway try from his own in goal.
Fastest man on the planet.
Fastest man on the fucking planet for sure.
It definitely it was really good to see, and it was good to see them win in a different way where Mitchell Moses just kicked us out of trouble all night. It's insane what and it really makes me question where they would have been on the ladder if he would have played more football this season.
Yeah. Golden Globe and Golden Boot, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's very instrumental to your guys' season. He sort of just holds that club together, I think. Like, everything he does seems to just turn into gold. He's he's an awesome player, man. Definitely one of the top halves in the comp.
And it's something that in the coming weeks we'll be talking about. But like, there's a potential Kangaroos jersey up for grabs there. A lot of competition in the halves this year. Cleary, Dearden, Moses, Money. So Kevy's going to have his work cut out for him.
Yeah. I hope that they don't brush over him because his team isn't in the finals. I know a lot of years gone by that it seems to be like the finals halves that get the spot, and as much as the guys that end up into the grand final, their halves would deserve the spot every bit as much. Moses has been playing some incredible football, and the big games, that's where he really shines. So
he steps up.
I'd definitely love to have him in the green and gold.
Well, I seen Kevy the other week after the Roosters game, and he said, make sure your passport's ready to go because you're in consideration, and wherever you're in the conversation there, like, that's all he can keep doing, and he's going to be pretty fresh. Like, obviously, a few
that
weeks
is
break.
One thing that will go in his way is he'll be fresh and motivated to get out on the field as well, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. It's I'm really looking forward to seeing what that Kangaroos squad looks like.
Yeah, it should be a good outfit, man. They never disappoint, do they?
Well, NFL starts tomorrow, man.
Let's go.
Go Birds.
Let's go the Eagles, eh?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm loving the fit. Loving it.
Yeah. Obviously, they're coming off a massive Super Bowl win last year.
Yeah.
first game up against the Dallas Cowboys, which is basically like America's team over there. So even though they haven't been successful for many years.
The dream team. I have a dream team.
And also our that's again our uncle's team, Paul. Like he loves the Cowboys, so gonna have a bit of bragging rights up for grabs here. So hopefully the boys can get the job done. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to go back into that because obviously that's something we come up on, like, you know, playing the Madden games and that. And I never asked you, like, what's your team?
Well, from the Madden back in the day, obviously the Eagles, they had a very strong presence in that game, so they've always taken a good spot. But probably the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I don't mind the Steelers. I haven't watched a lot of NFL the past couple of years, but I'm pretty keen to get into some this off season.
Yeah, well, I think me and you, we might have to have a bit of a punt or something since it's going to be off season, so we might have to have a little bit of a play around there,
having a little bit of a dabble.
Yeah, see what we can come up with, you know. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, like obviously when it's off season, try and get into a bit of NFL. I mean, the games are so long. Like,
they are a little bit hard to watch a whole game sometimes because it does take the whole of your day, and being on the opposite time schedule a lot of time for us, that means getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever the time might be to watch it. So it is difficult, but they're definitely a spectacle. The game, it's like you see the crowds that they draw over there, and they really know how to fill seats.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's I think you know, that's the thing. American sports do lend themselves, even basketball, to a lot of, you know, there's a lot of people out there that they love the sport, but they actually just watch the highlights. Yeah. Which I found really interesting, and I think it's becoming more and more as attention spans are getting less and less with, you know, the TikTokification of things on social media. Brain rot and doom scrolling and that. You know, people are just sort of clocking in for little bits and pieces. But, you know, I mean, I'm not against that. Like, I mean, obviously, when you've got shit to do in your life, you can't always spend 3 hours watching a game of sport.
Yeah, you've got a lot of guys that got kids, families, houses and 100%. Jobs and other commitments that they have to adhere to. So I definitely don't see a problem with it. It's one of them things. There's no one out there that's measuring how much of a fan you are or I am or who's more into something. It's on your own personal accord. If you want to sit down and watch the entire game, sit down and watch the entire game. If you want to check the highlights, check the highlights. Like,
that's it, yeah.
Things. I find sometimes it's actually a lot easier to watch a game back after it's been played. Not necessarily just the highlights, but even to tape a game. And you watch a lot of games back, and it's a hell of a lot easier to get rid of all that filler in between.
The stoppages.
The ads, the halftime break, and it condenses a game down from watching 2 hours or 2.5 hours to watching 80 minutes.
Definitely. And I think like you have that situation there where you've got, you know, the bunker, they're going to the bunker every 5 seconds, and then, you know, you've got all that time that they're sitting there, and sometimes they'll be watching it, you know, I'm going, what are they watching? Like I've seen live what's happening.
It's one of them things, like you got to sort of feel for the refs in the bunker because they cop ridicule everywhere. Like we've even given them some flack before. They cop the ridicule every week because the game we play and the speed that it's played at, there's going to be errors made. And unfortunately, that's going to come back down to the referee because you've got all these diehard supporters that in their head, if that error wasn't made, their team won that game and then ultimately goes on to win the grand final or whatever the dream is. But they can have the tendency to take it very personally, and everyone always wants to find someone to blame for it. So being in the black and white stripes, unfortunately, that's
it's not an
job.
Easy gig. Yeah, it's not an easy gig, and I mean, it's just becoming more and more like with high stakes. You know, people are betting on the games. You know, like you've got
there's a lot of money spent on betting and stuff like that. So
coaches are losing their jobs. You know, and that's something that we weren't able to get into last week. But you know, last week 2 coaches basically sacked. Desi Hasler at the Titans and you know the Knights coach Adam O'Brien. So you know, I mean, it just shows you how like difficult this game is. You know, there's 2 guys that have lost their job. Now, I'm not saying, you know, Desi's not short of $1. Like, you know, he's...
Well, it's one of them things, like, we know Desi's has the ability to be a great coach, so it sort of almost brings into question, is the Gold Coast a bit of a coach graveyard? Because their history doesn't.
I think it is, yeah. Like
a lot of coaches go there, and that's it for them.
And what is that? Is that the lifestyle? Like, you know, is it too laid back down the coast that everyone's just surfing? And
who knows? Who knows what it is? But yeah, they've definitely got something going on down there, because they can't seem to hold a coach or get the club together and
perform consistently.
They're in a great spot. You'd think they'd have a lot of players wanting to come and like live on the Gold Coast and play for the Titans. Like, I can't see why that they're in such a tumultuous state that they are.
Yeah, it is very surprising. You know, they've got the infrastructure down there set up. Like, I've been down there, you know, a few times and watched the games down there, and, you know, stay down there for the weekend, go to the beach. Like, it's just a cool environment and that. Yeah. And, you know, I just can't seem to understand why it's going so wrong all the time. And that they've never been successful, from even in the early days, and, you know, probably before we were born, when they had the Gold Coast sides down there, and they had Wally Lewis, and, you know, when he left the Bronx and different things like that. They've never been able to be successful. Yeah. So I think...
well, it could also come from the old, like, the true grit comes from, like, those harder in privileged areas, where you've got the Gold Coast as more of everyone down there sort of comes from money, and they've got whatever it is. So I'm just spitballing here, but maybe there's a little bit less of a drive or a fire in the belly for the young guys down there. Well, who knows? Who knows what it could be?
100%. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how they go. Like, I actually like the brand of football that they play. I must admit, in terms of attack, like, obviously defense is an issue, but in terms of attack, they're one of the teams that I actually really enjoy to watch, because they throw the ball around. They've got some fast wingers. I'm a big fan of Tino. Like,
Tino. Look, you almost got to feel a little bit bad for that guy sometimes. Like, and any superstar players, like, when they're Luai himself in a team at the moment that's just not performing that well, and he's shown now that he can play some top class footy, and he can do it right up there with the best of them. So you kind of feel for these guys when they end up in a club like this, and the same with Gutho at the Dragons.
Yeah,
they just sort of their talent's almost lost, because they're around guys that aren't playing that same game of football that they are.
Yeah, and potentially don't have that same drive, you know. I think I look at someone like Tino, every time he goes out there, he's, you know, putting his body on the line. Now, can you say that some of those other guys, you know, like, obviously anyone that makes the NRL, like, you know, they've had to work hard to get there.
They've worked very hard, yeah.
But there's also another level then that, you know, and I mean, it's going to end up costing them guys like Tino if you know, if they don't start to build some consistency, they're not going to be there, because they're going to go elsewhere chasing premierships.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
for sure. Awesome, man. Well, we might on
the American NFL chat. How's Snoop?
Oh man, this Snoop thing's blowing up, man. I've seen, like, you know, I don't know if it's happening yet, but, you know, obviously following on from our chat a couple of weeks ago about him getting the AFL grand final slot.
Yeah, calls to cancel it.
Yeah, you know, like
a little bit out there, isn't it?
I mean, I really didn't you know, and maybe this is, like, politically incorrect, but, like, I just don't really understand these days, you know, like, obviously there's a lot of virtue signaling that goes on in movies, and from what I've read, like, apparently, you know, I haven't watched the podcast myself, but he went on a podcast and said, you know, that he was watching a movie with his grandson, and they had, like, a same-sex scene in, like, a kid's movie or something, or, like, I think it was Lightyear. So I haven't actually seen it myself.
The new Buzz movie.
The Buzz movie that came out a couple of years ago or whatever. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why there would be a same-sex scene in a movie like that. Look, but
they're just, it's one of them things that when you get to the stage that we've gotten to now, where everyone wants to be included, that one group or one minority faction will jump up and down until they get whatever it is that they're chasing. And I don't know if it's politically incorrect. It's just my opinion. So
yeah,
That's just how it is. But,
I've got nothing against anyone, what they want to do and all of that sort of stuff.
Live,
you know,
live and let live and all that. But it's definitely confusing times we're in, and I resonate with the guy, man. Like,
I don't know
what you're allowed to say anymore and what you can't,
and the other thing is do we really need to expose like do kids really need to sort of know, you know, like, I mean, obviously there's nothing wrong if that they choose that path, but I mean, do we really need to be jamming stuff like that into movies? I know that sort of stuff has happened before, like in other shows. And stuff,
there's definitely been a bit of a trend with it over the last decade or so like that. But yeah, it's one of them things. It's when we were kids, you didn't have this whole transgender movement or whatever, so you didn't have little boys that were saying they were little girls because it wasn't jammed down their throat that was an option, I guess.
Yeah.
You give people too many options and they don't know what to choose, and all of a sudden you've got chaos. That's, again, just my opinion, but...
For sure. And I mean, I think we've gotten to this point now where outrage just sells. Like, people want to cancel people for, you know, like... And it's even, you know, so it's something that I think a lot about with celebrities. We have this whole thing where, you know, you've obviously got the celebrity worship culture, but you've also got the opposite of that, where people are like hating celebrities, you know, for something that they've done. Now, a lot of the time, we've all made mistakes in life.
Yeah, we've all fucked up.
So, and the thing that I look at from almost a psychology perspective is that it's a projection, because it's easier to look at someone else's backyard and go, oh, they've done this, they've done that, they've done all this stuff wrong.
The things that we dislike about other people are usually the things that we dislike most about ourselves. So,
yes.
It is, you know, it is some of that in a projection.
We don't understand those things and we project it on, you know, it mirrors, like I always say that, you know, people mirror you. So like if you come into something with this sort of, you know, negative sort of vibe or whatever,
or aggressive, or you're going to get that back.
You're going to get it back. Yeah. So, you know, it's obviously, it's, and like I say, you know, we're not against anyone. Like, you know, express yourself however you want, you know, express your sexuality, whatever you want to do. Like, you know, definitely not against any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, be you.
I just don't understand this whole, you know, like I wrote a song about this many years ago called Outrage. And it was just because at the time I was just seeing that it doesn't matter what side you're on. You know, you could be on the left side of politics, the right side of politics. Most of the time you just get into an echo chamber of what you want to believe. And humans are really good at this. Humans are really good we're tribal by instinct because, you know, from many years of evolution, we've always, if we're not in the tribe,
you weren't around the people that were like you were dead. So
you get exiled, you're in trouble.
We surround ourselves with like-minded people. So, and we do end up in that echo chamber a bit and just hearing what we want to hear or what we believe. And I guess, yes, you're exactly right. It just goes back to our primal instinctual tribal nature.
100%. And you see it so much online these days, you know, like you see all these people and they become, and I'm not, you know, if that's what they want to do and that's what they enjoy, if they become like a social media, like activist, you know, warrior, whatever you want to call it, like that's fine. But, you know, how much is it does it really do sometimes, you know?
I think a lot of it comes, a lot of people can't objectively view things. They will see something and they go, okay, so that's what I have to do, or that's how I have to be. And they don't realize that you can have certain beliefs and then act in a responsible according way. Like you don't have to be outraged about, like, for instance, the Tash Peterson or that vegan chick. You don't have to be running around and throwing raw steaks at people and invading restaurants and ruining people's businesses because you don't agree with them eating meat. Like, you can just put your post up on Facebook or whatever it is you want to do and be done with it. Or if you really want to do something about it, make a podcast, talk about it. Get all your vegan friends in, talk about vegan stuff. You'll have your vegan following. It'll be great.
Yeah, I think it, you know, a lot of the time it goes down to that vanity, you know, like it really does. Like, you know, it's easy to, you know, and I think the thing is that people don't seem to realize this, is that when they create that extreme polarity like that,
they're creating
it
the
because
opposite.
if that didn't exist, if everyone just was vegan, they would have no platform. If everyone was just, you know, like one way, you know, and then I think it's counterintuitive then, because you're wanting to, you know, you're getting these people to say be inclusive, but then they end up creating like a whole subsection of people that they're like, I don't want to listen to anything you got to say.
Be inclusive until I don't agree what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what it is, basically.
Well, yeah. So, anyway, I think it might be Mount Rushmore time.
Right, Wingers.
Yep. So we got the rugby league wingers.
Right. I think I'm first up this time, aren't I?
I think you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So number one for me, the big horse, Sailor.
Big Dell.
Big Dell.
Yeah, love Big Dell, man.
Yeah, man. He's I loved watching him.
Dual code too.
Yeah. Great. I loved watching him back in the day. I actually went to his last game at the Broncos when I was younger.
Oh man.
So that was cool.
Mad. Was that at
It was
ANZ?
at ANZ, the old Broncos home ground.
Yeah.
The rickety old alloy stand.
Yeah.
Scared me every time I got into the thing, but man.
Pop used to love that. He'd go up there with his binoculars and he'd be watching it
that was before they canned smoking at the ground, so he was all for it.
He loved it up there. Like I heard some funny stories.
I've heard some good ones about my dad, your dad, and your uncles, and
they used
cousins.
To love it up there.
All pile in and
No, well, Big Dell. Just quickly on Big Dell. Wasn't he a good sledger too? You know, we said Hodjo the other week. Like, if he's not in the category for goat sledger, like, you know,
that'll have to be our Rushmore one week.
Exactly.
Mount Rushmore of sledgers.
I won't be able to narrow it down to 4.
Right. So number 2, I've got Matty Singh.
Yeah.
One of the Queensland greats. Man, just blistering pace back in the day. I loved watching Matty Singh play.
Safe as a house.
Yeah, exactly. Number 3, one a bit more our time, Alex Johnson.
Yeah.
Try scoring machine.
Oh man, I think he's 3 off the record to break the most tries of all time, to break Ken Irwin's record.
Okay, all right.
Ken Irwin, sorry, yeah. But yeah, so they're actually playing the Roosters this week. So if he scores 3,
that'll be a good clash, man.
It always is. They hate each other.
Yeah. And South will really be wanting to try and get, like, even though their season's pretty well done and dusted, they'll really be wanting to get one up on the Roosters and into that final there.
If they win,
it leaves the door open for the Dolphins
the Finns,
or Manly.
Yeah.
Well, Manly probably won't with their for and against, but it leaves the door open for the Finns, which...
Interesting equation.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And then number 4... Hazem El Masri.
Oh, El Magic. Yeah. What a kicker.
Oh, dude, he was awesome. And again, he was like when we were young pups coming up. So
for sure.
I loved watching him play, man. He was so good. And kicking game was just phenomenal. Like, I mean, you've seen some guys come through now that they can kick the absolute skin off the ball, but in his time, like, the guy just hit him from the sideline like they were nothing. Yeah.
Oh man, he was just and very undersized too. Like, you know, he was going
really
up against
small winger.
Really
small, compact, nuggety sort of guy.
Big Dells and that sort of thing. You know, like, and he held his own always. You know, so awesome.
So how's about yours? What do you got in store for us this week?
Well, yeah, I got a top of the tree, same as you, man. Can't go past the Big Dell. Like, just loved him, man. One of my favourite memories as a kid was him and Mad Dog, Adam McDougall going up against each other, you know, like they just look for each other on the field. There was even one game, I think, when Dell went to the Dragons and he's like, he'd score a try and he's like looking for Mad Dog, you know, and then at the end of the game, I think Mad Dog scores like the winning try and then he goes looking for Dell. So just awesome banter, just loved it. And you know, he just had that presence about him, Big Dell, you know, like he'd get out there and if you're going for the other team, you'd hate him.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like there's many times Parra playing him and, you know, you see this big bastard coming off the wing.
He'd just run you over, man.
He was the original, like, you know, wingers, like he changed the game in terms of wingers because, you know, you see wingers now, they're like a lot of them. You got a couple small ones like Bizzer and that, but, you know, like even him, he's like trying to tackle a rock. but you know, like it's
he's nuggety.
Yeah,
he's very nuggety.
So second on the list, got to go with BMOS, Brett Morris. Just try scoring freak. Killed us a few times, you know, even on Queensland's run, but you know, he was always, him and his brother, they were always hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So he's definitely on there.
I like that pick. Yeah.
And then got to put an Eel in there. Semi Raja didn't play rugby league for as long, but man, just
he's good.
Like similar to Sivo, they just knew how to find the try line, you know, and
another one that's lightning fast, man.
Oh man,
super quick, especially
see
over
tongue
that
flapping and in the wind, and you know,
ears just pinned back where he goes.
Yeah, oh man, some of the tries he'd score like long range, you know, like I love a winger that can, you know, we're talking about Fox earlier, you know, you get one of them long range tries, you know,
they really help your team out.
Oh man, you know, you look, if you're a forward and you see, you know, your winger bursting out the backfield and you're running back, you know.
You beauty.
You're loving it, you know. You get a little spell.
A little bit of a walk here.
Yeah, you know.
Let the fast boys catch up and take the next one.
All the middles are just going, you know, I'm buying him a beer tonight.
This fella's all right, eh?
Yeah. And then, last... this is one sort of growing up that I used to love is Nathan Blacklock from the Dragons.
Backflips all day.
Oh, man, the backflips they used to do, you know. And surprisingly, I always found it hard to believe he never played State of Origin, you know. Like, I think he might have played a game for Australia. But, just some of the things that he would do, you know, like...
super athletic, man. Super athletic.
You know, and just, really underrated, you know. And I could have thrown some other guys in there. Yeah. There was, you know, like I thought about Lottie and, you know, a couple of other guys there. But, you know, just, in terms of nostalgic, like some of the games that I would watch of him playing, and my mum's team's the Dragons, so I'd watch a lot of Dragons games. And, you know, he'd just be chip kicking on the wing and chasing and, you know, doing crazy stuff, you know, and then do a backflip to top it off. You know, like, and
he's got just, plenty of energy, mate. Just run the length of the field and then, you know, not enough, I'll do a backflip as well.
That's, I think pretty solid list of wingers
there.
Yeah,
solid list.
You know, shout out to the wingers because, you know, there's that old saying, you know, wingers are just people that hang around with footballers. But I think the wing position's changed a lot, you know. It's nowadays, I actually think they're almost more important than a centre.
They get a lot of the opportunities these days. With how quick the ball games become, it's like the guys in the middle, they're doing their work as well, but the ball ends up out on the edges. Definitely 2 to 3 plays every set. So them guys are definitely putting in their meters as well.
Yeah, mad yardage carries, you know, like a winger now, you know, if you're not making over 100 meters, you know, people, that's the thing. It was really hard to actually leave Bizzer out, but I just wanted to pick guys that, you know, Brian Toto, because I wanted to pick guys that are retired, because it's really hard to judge someone when they're still playing. But personally, if we did this again and he's retired, I probably would have thrown him in because, you know, I think there's a lot of wingers that he's another one that's starting to change the game. Like if you don't make 200 meters now as a winger, like you see wingers make 150 meters and it's almost like because he's making 200 a week. Yeah. It's like, it's looked at as
an odd week,
It's like, what? Like, you know.
Those are big meters,
Yeah. So for sure. And, guys, we really want to hear your Mount Rushmore. Let us know. Put them in the comments. Let us know if you got any suggestions for future Mount Rushmores as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have our fucking problems against us picking some of them, I think.
Yeah.
It's always a bit of a hard draw. There's so many big names and great players in the past and stuff, so you're trying to narrow it down to 4. It's always difficult to do, but
for sure. And we're going to slowly go through the positions, and then, you know, we might find some novelty ones that we can throw in there, like you said, you know, maybe the sledges that'll come up at some point as well. So
yeah, definitely.
So awesome, man. Well, let's jump into sleepers, eh?
Awesome. Yeah, my sleeper pick this week, it's a pretty popular song actually, Clash by Dave. We actually used it for one of the shorts last week.
It's a banger. Yeah.
Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s, Rolexes got more than one. My AP costs 31 millimeters, 41. Stick him up with a stick. Need you the shorter one. You can't short me one. In a club with the shortest one. Lighty, the shortest one. On my mind, Georgia one. Crocodile bag, I bought a one. Vegan tinger, slaughter one.
All right, man. Well, this week for my sleeper, I'm going with a throwback old school tune I grew up on. Balboa, Hoods Up.
Oh, yeah, dude.
From the Red Tape Renegade CD.
Shout out,
back in the
Balboa.
day. And yeah, shout out, like he's got a mad Parramatta Eels bar in this. So like last game of the season, you know, got to put it on for the boys, get the winner, you know, three from three.
I loved this track back in the day too.
Yeah, such a banger, man.
Yeah, man, I really, really liked Balboa.
Balboa, yeah. We used to listen to a lot of like Balboa stuff. So yeah, no, I had to bring it back for the nostalgic reasons. So
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Brisbane OG.
To the street, play the hardcore. Punchlines hit like Rose and 6'4". Shots to the Buster Man and Black Jaw. My life is my lady, made death be the whore. For my star below yours, I'm 10 feet deep. I play drug sales at the end of the week. I walk over metaphors, may sound sweet. Eat dinner at your house, kiss mums on the cheek. Yeah, what up? Yeah, serve me the meal. Put some glass in it, give me something to feel. My shit sharp like a Parramatta eel. I act too real, a killer like Black Steel. Keep an ace in the deck, mate. Deal out cassettes. Put your favorite dog down without a family vet. Done big things, more monks like Rasputin. Nice on the sting, butcher like Paul Newman. Don't believe in love, screw being human. Balboa, you're cool, the devil stays shooting.
Hooks up, knives out, hooks up, eyes out, looks up, lights out, shush up right now. Oops up, side your head, look cunt, do your bed.
All right, guys, that's us for another week done. Yeah, like next week, finals. So
yeah, it's getting interesting, dude.
It's just,
can't wait.
Season's flying, man.
Oh, like, man, every year it just flies by, doesn't it?
It's crazy. I can't believe we're already in spring.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot our bets. We might as well.
We may as well do them because we haven't done them every week.
Yeah. We keep forgetting. We get too into the combo and then we're just like, oh, shit, the bet.
Yeah.
So who you rocking with this week?
Right. Going to bet with my heart a little bit this week. So I'm going to go Broncos for the win 1-12. Probably go the under on the points. And I'll chuck in Jesse Arthurs for an anytime try scorer. A little bit of a safe one for me, or not really for us getting the win. And we're definitely not favourites this week, but for me, that's a fairly safe one for the Bronx.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's something you've sort of, I can't remember, but I think you've sort of similar to how you built your bets in the
Look,
past.
I always generally chuck a winger or a centre in there, and generally just an under or over or a head-to-head sort of thing with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty simple on the betting, man. I don't get too crazy into it, throwing 7-leggers and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, it's always good to just, like go with your, I always feel like, with betting, you got to go with your gut, and, obviously gamble responsibly. That's the biggest thing.
That's it, man. Gamble responsibly always.
For sure. Well, yeah, this week I'm gonna do something a bit different. I was originally gonna put me Momax multi in because I've been putting that in every week, like Mitchell Moses and Zach Lomax. But I think this week I'm gonna do something a bit different, and I'm gonna go Addo Carr, Mitchell Moses, and I might just bit of a weird one, but I might just actually throw in from the Eagles. I might actually throw in Saquon Barkley for a touchdown. But
for a touchdown?
Yeah, for a touchdown.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I just think first game of the year, Saquon, he come off a big season last year. So, yeah, I'm gonna go the Fox. I'm going to go Moses. And in the NFL, I'm going to chuck Saquon Barkley in there. And
awesome. Bit of a multi-code multi.
Mix it up. Like, it's a bit of a risk, but that's paying $6.42 on sports bet. So
nice. Yeah, good odds.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks for having us.
Cheers, guys. We really appreciate the support. As always, smash that subscribe button down below.
Peace.
Thanks.